Hello, listeners, and welcome back to the Skylight Books podcast series. We're here with another Better Than the Movie. I'm your co-host, Justin Remer. I'm here with...
Allan Traylor.
Tyler Austin.
And we have a wonderful, talented guest who was here before. He's a podcaster, he's an author, a screenwriter, he's a garden squirrel. He is Garon Cockrell.
Hello. You said you had a wonderful guest. Are they here too? Or are we just...
Yeah, they're on after.
Are they on after? Okay, great.
Yeah,
That's good to know.
just immediately after.
So if this is your first time listening to Better Than the Movie, I don't know why, but basically what we do is we talk about movie adaptations of books. And last year we had a very fun episode with Garon discussing Clive Barker's Nightbreed and the novella Cabal. And Tyler is famously not a horror fan and had kind of a tough time. So we were like, hell, we got to bring Garon back and do more Clive Barker. Mm-hmm. We're fucking trolls. Anyhow, but we did. And so we're doing the original HELLRAISER from 1987, which is based on which is written, directed by Clive Barker, based on his own novella, The Hellbound Heart. Normally I'd say, like, why did you pick this, Garon? But we picked it. So, and we know why. It's because to pick on Tyler.
To hurt me.
Yeah. You also keep saying we, and I don't remember agreeing.
For me to pick on Tyler. Yes, exactly.
You knew you liked it, Allan.
In theory, yes. I love the idea, of course.
Yes.
Yeah. Unfortunately, our regular studio was not available today, so we're all recording remotely. Hopefully, it still sounds good to your ears, listeners. Fingers crossed. But I would like to kick off at least sort of talking about what we know about HELLRAISER. So you're kind of a horror hound, Garon. Maybe you should start off the discussion. What we know about HELLRAISER going into this
Hold on. Why am I not starting this? Oh, no, sorry. No.
I mean, that makes sense because you're the one, you're not the horror fan. And what reputation does HELLRAISER have?
Yeah.
It's me. I saw it when I was a kid. So
As did I, yeah.
Maybe I wasn't that much of a kid because it is kind of sexual, but...
I'm aware of the Pinhead. I was aware of the Pinhead and his gang of Cenobites, but mostly from other culture. Here's the thing. I do like some horror. It is specifically body horror, which I do not like. And of course, two movies, which they ended up being. Yeah. I mean, it's fine. I've come around. I can acclimate. It's almost quaint by comparison to something like the last 20 minutes of The Substance, I imagine. So it's kind of, but yeah, I'm aware.
I will say your level of familiarity is the exact same level that the remake team had. They were like, I think there's Pinhead and Cenobites, and that's all we need, right? Fuck the book or the movie we're remaking. Let's just do nothing at all.
Sounds great.
I will say, so I was curious about the remake, but I did not have enough time to watch it. So I did watch like the first 8 minutes, 10 minutes. I did like the opening sequence in that I did kind of wonder in this movie, like, why the fuck anyone would be stupid enough to open that puzzle box. Yeah. And in the remake, at least, the guy's like, hey, you over there, why don't you open this puzzle box for me and I'll see what happens?
Well, essentially in the remake, the Cenobites are genies that love torture. If you sacrifice enough people, they're like, hey, what's up? What do you want now? And it's like, oh, I want power. And they're like, here you go. But it's like a monkey paw shit where like the thing you get is like really fucked up.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a weird, it's a very strange choice.
You're saying that like derogatorily, but that's really not that far.
It doesn't work in the movie. It's not a terrible idea, but it doesn't work in the movie.
Yeah. Torture genies is kind of a good way to think of them, honestly.
Yeah.
that is a almost accurate description. Yeah. Rub our box, and here comes the genies.
So wait, how many movies in the franchise have we all seen? So I've only seen the first 3, which were all released in theaters. I've seen none of the straight to videos, or I guess 4 was released in theaters, but
I was there opening night. It was. It was in theaters. I was there. I saw it. I've seen them all. I've seen them all, and I may or may not have all of them tucked away on a shelf somewhere.
Mm-hmm. I've seen the first one. I've seen the first two, and like a random straight to video store sequel later down the line, but it's all mixed up. I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't think any of the sequels after 4 were actually Hellraiser scripts.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Just Dimension trying to hang out of the rights, so they would just adapt whatever they had into a Hellraiser script. I think maybe one of them, maybe the Scott Derrickson one is the only one that was but I'm not 100% on that either.
Yeah,
but
that kind of makes sense though.
And you can tell.
I didn't know that he did one. The guy who did the Black Phone and Doctor Strange, right? That guy?
The Gorge.
Interesting.
Yeah, I just watched that last night, actually.
Yeah, I watched that too.
Everyone getting engorged on the gorge?
I thought it was okay. It's okay.
It was perfectly fine.
Yeah. Kind of. Yeah.
I was curious because I had a little bit of the same feeling this time, but not so much because reading the book. I was shocked the first time I saw the first Hellraiser, and I was like, there is not that much Pinhead in this movie.
Yeah.
Like, considering his big-ass face is on the poster, I was like, I assumed he was the next Freddy, the next Jason. Like, I figured he's orchestrating everything, and he's not.
No, it's very... Yeah. Gore aside, Hellraiser is barely a horror movie. It's almost more like a sexual thriller or a psychosexual thriller kind of thing.
Yeah, I would agree.
The horror doesn't really come in until the sequel, where everything's got to be amped up. And even in the sequel, there's not that many Pinhead scenes either.
Yeah.
It's very interesting to me that they built such a reputation off of 40 minutes of screen time total, maybe?
It's like the only one that speaks, so it's that's the one everyone remembers.
Yes.
The one with the CDs crammed in his head wasn't doing a whole lot of talking.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God. I used to know his name. What was his name?
I know. I can't remember his name.
I'll think of it.
Didn't we look this up, Justin, at work?
Did you?
I mean, on our break,
Yeah.
We did look it up on like a BuzzFeed, the Cenobites in order from best to worst.
Right. Well, Chatter's got to be up there near the top.
Oh, yeah. Chatter is great.
Oh, yeah. Butterball, which one?
Oh, that might be him.
Butterball.
Oh, no, he looks
Butterball.
different.
He's got the glasses and then no eyes, which just feels like a hat on.
Oh, yeah.
He's also like a butterball.
Yeah, when he takes off the glasses and you're like, oh my God, he has no eyes. What a reveal.
That was a weird thing. So I also watched part 2 right before we recorded. So Butterball, the actor in there, is the actor from Nightbreed who's got like the nipple clamps and I describe him as kind of like a thin, kinky hippie.
Yeah. Yeah, he's always down, man.
Like Flower Child, who's like, he's at the music festival.
Clive gives him a call and he's down, ready to go.
Yeah. But what I was gonna say is like he's not a chunky dude, but he's inside Butterball. But in the second one, there's a scene where like this guy is turned into a Cenobite and starts offing the other ones, and Butterball gets offed, and they show him as the human that he was, and it's a different actor, a fat guy. Like, I don't know if in the second one they cast a different actor in the suit, or they're just like, it doesn't make sense for you to be the human that we see. We got to put a chunky guy in there when Butterball gets killed.
It has to make sense.
Yeah.
A chunky Cenobite has to be a chunky man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just kept imagining Johnny Knoxville asking if Butterball was okay. After getting concussed. Every time I saw Butterball on screen, that's all I could think about.
That's hilarious.
Okay, cool. Let's dig in. Let's dig into the Hellbound Heart and Hellraiser. This is one where I feel like the synopsis is pretty close, so we can sort of, I think, talk about both at once. What do you guys think about that?
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
definitely
a couple major changes, but not much else.
Yeah, nothing that like affects the plot too much.
I mean, it affects the sexual tension from the book for sure.
Well, yes. Well, sure. No, just
Okay, go ahead.
What? No. I mean, yeah. Well, I was just gonna say, Garrett, I mean, you're so right. I think I've has now waited so long to see this, basically until last week, that I've lived through the entire run of it's all about Pinhead to the backlash of there's not that much Pinhead in this, to so now I'm was I completely caught up. But I was certainly taken aback at how it is basically an erotic thriller with just a bunch of gore at the end, or not even. I mean, not even really, just a bunch of guys in crazy makeup and a lady with the Marchand cube or whatever. Just
well, also, yeah, I will say that it is still surprising, even if you take into account, okay, there's not going to be much screen time. You think that Pinhead is the main antagonist when really he's the antagonist's antagonist. He's kind of the MacGuffin, honestly, kind of.
Yeah, 100%.
They're just there to see what goes down, man. They like freaky shit. That's what they're about.
They do. And he's even in the book. He's not. He's not even a dude in the book. It's a female. It's a female. They're a female in the book. Whatever. I can't keep track.
Well, I think it was described as androgynous with a feminine voice, but it's interesting that turned into Doug Bradley, but anyhow.
I mean, that's one thing that the remake, requel, I don't even know what that's supposed to be.
Yeah,
got right. Who played? I forgot her name. Who plays Pinhead? But way more closer to the original, I think, in terms of that characterization.
And they literally call her what they are in the book was just the priest. They don't even refer to them as Pinhead. Yeah, the remake is really, really bad, guys. But I will say some of the Cenobite designs are interesting. They went way more eager with it. A lot more vagina looking shapes on all of them. So it's a little interesting that way. But without the bondage, so it's are they even freaks? I don't even know. They don't have the black bondage suits. I don't know if I trust them.
Just posers, really.
They're honestly just kind of cosplaying.
Well, should we jump in this thing? I need to. Okay. In foggy old England town, we begin our tale. In the Hellbound heart, I should say. It's explicitly the UK in the Hellbound in the book, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's why I kind of made a face, is because I'm it's also clearly London in the movie, but they're pretending it's New York.
It is the most British-ass movie I've ever seen where people are saying they're pretending they're not British. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's so funny you guys say that. I was watching it trying to be where does this take place? I don't know why I thought it was Baltimore. I don't know where Baltimore comes from. It's not mentioned in either place, but I couldn't place that. Where are we supposed to be in this movie?
Yeah.
Some place that's better than Brooklyn, according to
Baltimore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess your argument would be it's upstate New York is
maybe
what they're sort of implying with the foliage, I guess, maybe. But it was shot in the UK with a bunch of British actors, and then they were hey, reshoot it and dub a bunch of people's voices so that it's more appealing to us our American ears. Mm-hmm. Well, apparently. All right. So we started. The book begins, and it is somewhere, but mostly England because Clive Barker is British. And basically, it starts with Frank, right? Is in the movie and in the book.
It's the same cold open,
It's the same cold open of a man who's obsessed. I loved doing a little bit of research into this because everywhere they talk about Frank on the internet, they're just Frank, a noted hedonist. Yes, he's a hedonist indeed. He is after the most carnal pleasures the world has to offer, and that is why he's come across the Le Marchand cube or puzzle box
configuration.
Thank you. The Marchand configuration, which he's aware of from in the book. It's Kirshner is his partner who's trying to turn him on to this bad boy, this thing. And, he thinks if he opens it up, he's going to have pleasures heretofore untold on this earthly plane. Little does he know what waits for him are the Cenobites. And so, well, he goes back to like his childhood, his grandmother's home, where he uses the Lamarchon, opens the Lamarchon configuration, and is tortured into another realm by them, because for them pain is pleasure and pleasure is pain.
Yeah, it's definitely much more explicit in the book, but like
that passage is wild in the book.
They're like, yeah, you just wanted like to find some hot ethereal bitches to fuck. No, we're going to rend your flesh and rip you to pieces. Like you won't be a person, you will be flesh.
Yes, he has like they basically ask him like, what, you thought there'd be like 99 virgins? You're wrong.
Oh, they should have a buzzer every time someone gets bummed out.
Like a Cenobite game show?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
But what I was going to say is I feel like in the book it's a little more explicit that Frank feels like he got duped.
Yes.
In the movie, he's still sort of talking about like they exist on the plane where pleasure and pain like give way to each other, kind of. And I'm just kind of like, wait, so were you into it, or? But
yeah, there's definitely an element that he's duped, but he for sure is also like, maybe I was kind of into it for a second there. I don't know. Yeah. So he's disappeared now, and then Julia and I'm sorry, remind me, Frank's
Rory in the book.
Yeah, Rory in the book.
What is
and then
this?
it's Larry in the film.
Larry,
played by the Scorpio Killer from Dirty Harry.
Oh hell yeah, that's right. Yeah,
as well as Garrick in D Space Nine.
Oh, got to be a Star Trek connection.
Always.
Rory to Larry feels like a real. We gotta Americanize this bad boy
for sure.
They move in. Larry is like pushing Julia to move back into this house to the suburbs. Basically, it seems to be the implication, which was into the house that has been bequeathed to him by his grandmother. Technically, Frank and him own it together, but he's like, who knows? We haven't seen Frank in like a year or whatever. You know, where's that guy? Could be
doesn't give a shit if he's dead or alive.
Yeah,
right.
Not a care in the
world. He's off doing whatever Frank does.
Yeah.
To be fair, Frank probably,
as
we learned, does not care. Is a noted hedonist, and he similarly does not care about what's up with his brother. So I guess it goes both ways.
Yeah, well, to take a song title from Liz Phair, he does like to fucking run.
Yeah, so, yes. That's as we learned. So they move in. And there's an immediate, like, Julia's like, I'm not really into this place. I don't know.
Or her husband, for that matter.
She's not really into that guy either. Because as we learn, I guess this is about in sequence, essentially. So there's a flashback to the idea that, like, a week before their wedding, Julia and Frank hook up. In the movie, in the book, it's under the guise of, I'm going to show you my wedding dress in our bedroom. And in the movie, they literally hook up on her wedding dress.
Yeah.
Which was
Clive Barker one-upping himself.
Awesome.
Well, also, like, to sort of tease the big change between movie and book, like, also in the book, they seem younger. They seem like a more sort of like headstrong young couple. And that's not the case in the movie.
Yes. Yeah.
But that's probably in order to make the other change also make more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, because in the book, there is a character, Kirsty, who is sort of like, are they coworkers, I think, or they're friends?
It's like a family friend kind of thing.
Someone he's known for. I thought they said coworker, but I can't remember. But basically, someone who's friendly, who's been friendly and like has a big crush on Rory, basically, who's just like close to him, but like clearly likes him, but he's married to Julia, who, just doesn't like him anymore because she's so hung up on Frank. In the movie, she is his daughter, like adult daughter, or teenaged, like 18 to 19-year-old daughter, I think is kind of the
I think it's kind of like she's just left the nest. She's like, I need to be on my own since mom died.
Right.
In the commentary, I listened to a little bit of Clive Barker's commentary. I also listened to this book with his version of reading the audiobook. So I've had Clive Barker in my ears for like the past day and a half now, but he was saying that it was kind of more of a fairy tale vibe. And when he said that, I was like, oh yeah, the wicked stepmother, the girl who's lost her mother. Like, I was like, yeah, you do like that, like dark fairy tale shit, don't you, Clive Barker?
Yeah.
So
I think it works a little better for me in the book. Kirsty, she kind of comes off a little like I don't know. Her intent isn't pure enough, I guess, in the book. Like,
yeah,
I'm going to steal her man. I'm like,
I kind of like that more though.
I mean, I guess it's maybe more interesting.
It definitely gives more like reason for Julie to fucking absolutely hate her. And,
That's
like,
true. That's true.
Cannot stand her. Like, she actually has a reason. She's like,
that is true.
She's trying to steal a man that I absolutely loathe, which is like a whole other. But yeah, making her the stepdaughter feels like, I don't know, it just removes complication that the book is already so lean, and taking that complication out feels weird to me. I don't know. But the fairy tale vibe is, I kind of get that, I guess.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah, I think it makes sense. I don't know. The daughter, it's like, well, I don't know. Yeah, it's interesting. It's an interesting change to make it like, because there's part of me that's like, how much does, if it's just some guy she kind of likes, it's like, I'd get the fuck out of there. But if it's your dad, you're like, oh, I'm going to go fight the Cenobites or whatever.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense too, yeah.
So, well, basically...
But as we know, love drives people insane in this universe. So, I don't know, that kind of works as well.
It clearly does. Yeah, there's some interesting stuff. I mean, the hookup, as it's described in the book, is really interesting. I don't know if...
it's like borderline rape in the book, right?
Basically, yeah. But it's like, it's interesting the way Clive Barker's like, the way that her memory sort of distorts the past of like, oh, the bruises were like trophies of our love. And like, you know, like it was interesting. Like that was kind of an interesting spin on it too.
Yeah.
That doesn't really come across in the movie. Just seems like they had a really good time.
Yeah, it seems like they had like some roughhousing and she's just fondly remembering it.
Yeah, on top of her wedding dress.
On top
I hope they got the wedding
dress.
dress dry cleaned before the wedding.
You know she didn't. You know she didn't, man.
Damn, that's brutal. It's a tough beat for Larry.
She probably never watched it. She sniffs that thing every single day.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Right after her husband leaves, she's like, "Fuck that guy," and sniffs her wedding dress, and she feels alive again finally.
But you're pointing to something that I think is kind of funny, that this is sort of a story about people who like are kinkier, like think they're kinkier than they are. So like Julia's probably at the level, where she's like sniffing the old wedding dress, but like isn't ready for like sort of the sort of S&M thing that that Frank wants to bring. And then Frank's just like, I'll do a little S&M, but it's just because I want to get to boning, get to that going. But then the Cenobites come along and they're like, no, what we want to do is fucking eviscerate you. And that's the real ecstasy, my friend.
Yeah, man, that's the real shit, dude.
And meanwhile, Rory/Larry is just Mr. Vanilla Times, who can't even look at like blood.
Yeah.
Without getting sick.
Poor guy.
That sequence in the movie is really funny. He walks up 2 flights of stairs, not looking at his hand, just to find his wife so she can help him.
Blood everywhere, just a trail. He's got like a Frankenstein walk going of like, oh
yeah, he does have a Frankenstein walk.
Blood.
Does he call her mommy in that scene when he walks in the room?
God,
does he go mummy or whatever?
I think so, right?
Maybe he says help me. It
is help me. It just might.
But the vibe is
sound
mommy
like
for
it.
sure.
It absolutely is.
Like the
vibe
subtitle
is
of "Help Me" is mommy.
I don't know why he took the time to put a bonnet on before he walked in the room. But, I mean,
he's still got one good hand,
right?
So to clarify it, that basically they're doing work in the house. In the book, he's like
they're moving in.
They're moving. Yeah, they're moving in. He's like scraping something, and like the screwdriver slips.
Well, they're carrying the world's heaviest mattress. It takes 3 guys.
That's
to
movie.
A mattress.
Yeah, and then like can't get up the stairs
to save their life.
The movie moving in is awesome. Where they just like there's like 2 creep mover guys who are immediately like their heads turn into steam whistles the second they see Julia.
Yeah.
And then they're like, "Hey, it's noon. Do you mind if we get a couple brewskis?" What is going on in this world?
It's just a couple of regular American dudes. They want a
Yeah.
brewski when they're moving a mattress.
But I do also love that Larry's like, oh, I gotta get the beer for the movers. Ah.
I mean, well, in the movie, he's like, I guess I'll fucking get it since my wife isn't. What the hell? And they're like, yeah, we don't care. Just get us the beers.
Yeah, they're very demanding for guys who ostensibly he paid to do work in his house.
Right.
They're an interesting duo. But yeah, they're moving up the stairs. There's like an exposed nail, which was certainly the moment that I actually, and might be the grossest moment in the movie, is watching his hand like get ripped away by the nail is pretty gnarly.
That was a funny moment in the audio commentary, because in the movie, that moment where it's like threatening, like his hand is getting closer and closer to the nail to ripping, is cross-cutting with her memories of getting boned by Frank. And he's like, right there, pleasure and pain. I love this cross-cutting. It's just like, oh, Clive. Oh, Clive.
No, we all got it. We got it. Yeah.
That guy's got a thing, and he's proud of it. You know, we gotta love it.
Boy, does he ever.
So as he calls to mommy and goes into basically the upstairs room where Julia is, I guess it's implied that's where she and Frank hooked up. Basically, was that bedroom?
I think it just looks like it.
I think, yeah, but I also think maybe it's just a circumstantial thing where she's just like, I just need to get away from these guys, and she just walks into the room that happens to be the room where Frank got eviscerated and sucked into the other realm.
Yeah, his spirit is like trapped in there, and then the moment that sorry, I just realized my wife's in the room and is listening to this, and she must think I'm insane. Sorry.
She already thinks you're insane, I promise you.
It's like, just out of context, my one-sided version of this must just be like, she's going to have me committed the moment this ends. Yes, he walks into the room, he bleeds on the floor, and Frank like sucks up the blood and begins to regenerate, which is really what kind of kicks in like the second act of this movie, which is where it becomes like a slasher catch and kill mission for Julia.
Yeah. That effect, which is so simple, is so good. Of just like,
it looks fantastic.
Like the blood getting sucked into the floor, and then later like panning down the floorboards, just see this like heart starting to reform. It's like, it's so good, so good.
And it's really good. It's pretty awesome. It's pretty sick. So then, basically, like, she comes to realize that Frank is living in the walls, or something, and Julia like goes out every day to like, again, like catch and kill, basically honeypot a bunch of British businessmen.
But in the book, is it her idea in the book? She like comes to that conclusion.
No,
that
I think
I
think he prods her in both versions, because I did write down the line he says.
For some reason, when in the book, it was like she sees Frank and he's like a horrible goblin, and she's like, "I love him. I must feed him blood." Like immediately, like doesn't even consider doing anything else. She's like, "I will make him. I will fix him."
Well, we did jump over the fun like American Werewolf in London style moment where like he forms again, like he becomes a goo man, from being just like a disembodied in the floor guy.
Yes, it's the more blood.
Yeah, I think this was later in the film, but he basically says to her to be like, you got to keep it up. Every drop of blood you spill puts flesh on my bones.
Yeah,
and also. Frank, I think Frank needs to have a conversation with somebody in a professional manner. Because that dude at one point is just 100% pure raw nerve, and he still wants to smash. And I'm like, you need to.
Yeah, he's like, let me touch you.
Let's get some skin first before you start gyrating against me with nothing but pure flesh. You're just meat at this point. Just
when he touches her dress, like to feel her up, I almost vomited. It's so disgusting.
It's really horrifying stuff. Oh boy.
Oh, Frank.
Yeah, that's classic Frank, man.
I've heard he's a noted hedonist.
He lives up to it.
It's noted. It's official. Everybody talks about it, guys.
Yeah, everyone knows.
Been talking about it. It is, yeah. Well, so there's also in the movie, it sort of is similar in the movie and the book, where basically, like, at a certain point, Rory/Larry is like, Kirsty, my friend/daughter, maybe you should talk to Julia. She needs to talk to a lady about whatever's going, because she's acting strange, because she's participating in serial murder. And
and she's feeling a little conflicted. I don't know what she's feeling conflicted about, but
kind of off about. Oh, also, I wanted the first time. It's not with the first blood effect, but it's after the first kill in the movie. It genuinely sounds like a straw, like when when
Frank, he's slurping down.
He's reaching across the room with a straw and drinking these men's blood milkshakes. It's crazy. It's such a good choice to have the room sound like a giant straw. I loved it.
Well, I also like the choice in the movie, because I don't think it's so much in the book, that the dude, especially the first dude, is like repressed British man who just suddenly comes across aggro because, like, she's nervous. She's like, I don't know if I'm ready for this kill. And he's like, what, are we not going to fuck? And then immediately you're like, oh, he's meat. I want to see him get slurped down in a very satisfying way. And actually there's a very funny shot. I think after maybe he gets hit in the head the first time or something, it cuts to a low angle where you just see his shitty, baggy, tighty whities, and you're just like, fuck you, you stupid dude.
They hadn't invented briefs yet, you know.
They still may have never made their way across the ocean to the UK, as far as we know. That is a nice turn of for that, certainly, where he starts to really pressure. It does speak a lot to men in this world, but also in the world, that it's like she keeps bringing these guys into this empty room, and they're like, no bed. Whatever.
Yeah, whatever. I'll fuck on the floor. Who cares?
I don't care. Dusty old attic room? Fine.
You don't even have knee pads? Whatever. I can work with this.
It's, So then Rory/Larry's like, oh, I would like for Kirsty to talk to Julia. And basically in both versions, Kirsty, basically sees what she thinks is Julia cheating on Rory/Larry, which he is, but like not in the way that Kirsty thinks.
Yeah, it's so much worse.
It's so much worse. There's also in the film.
Oh, can we also talk about the
party?
Ooh. Oh, the I don't know if this is. I think this is around this. This is when she starts seeing the homeless guy in the movie, which is not in the book, right?
Kirsty does, right? Yeah. Grasshopper mouth. Yeah.
Is that not? That's Clive Barker, right?
Is it really?
Oh, I think that guy is Clive Barker.
Yes,
that's amazing. I hope it is.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah, I think he was playing that.
I didn't watch the entire commentary, but I'm sure he probably took a bow on the commentary at that point. He's like, and that is me. Yeah.
I forgot, right, because she's like working in the pet store, and that's nuts. That's a good bit.
Yeah. Well, there's a completely useless subplot where Kirsty has a crush on a completely worthless dude who shows up at the end basically to be worthless.
Yeah.
Well, he takes that whole situation in stride, which is, I think, a great virtue. he acts like it's not a big deal at all.
That stuff is so interesting. That is really where the Britishness is, because I'm like, that is the most British looking man I've ever seen in my entire life. He has an American accent, and there's even a moment where Kirsty is like, yeah, you people, blah blah blah, like 100% implying this man is British or like different, but he has an American accent, so there's like it makes no sense. Like, that is one moment in the movie where I was like, this is truly absurd. The dubbing or the overdubbing is crazy.
Yeah,
but he basically does nothing. I mean, he shows up at the end, and a bunch of lightning gets shot past him.
Where did he come from? Was he at the dinner party?
He's a coworker or something, or friend of a friend.
He's at the dinner party. He's at the dinner party. He does the Gene Kelly cigarette trick.
Yeah, I was going to say, all I remember is the cigarette bit, yeah.
Sorry, I had a feeling I thought we were racing to it, sorry.
and also his insanely 80s fashion sense. I'm like, that is some pastels in geometric shapes, my friend. Yeah.
Yeah, he just they kind of get along, and then he walks her home, and then he's sort of just around.
Yeah, they're just going steady out of nowhere.
Yeah, well,
well, actually, one moment that I thought was funny because it was almost like a switch of the trope is at one point, Kirsty gets a premonition that her dad's going to die in the form of a dream where she's suddenly standing in front of a corpse, or it's just a body under a white sheet, but then suddenly blood starts to kind of bloom on the sheet. And then she walks up and pulls back, and it's a weird prosthetic of her dad's head. And she's having a nightmare that he's going to be killed, which, spoiler, he is. But the thing that's funny is the next shot is him sitting up in bed and then turning to her as she rustles around in bed. So I thought that was such a funny, switch of the trope that she doesn't sit up in bed and go Dad. Instead, it's him sitting up and being why are you moving in bed?
Yeah.
What's going on?
I could sense your movement from my dream.
There's something about that shot that made it look like he was sleeping on the floor next to her bed.
I thought he was.
Oh, sure. Yeah,
is he not?
I believe he is.
He's a gentleman.
He's a gentleman.
Yeah.
Guy whose name none of us can remember.
Yeah. No,
so I'll sleep on the floor like a dog.
Guard your bed.
Yeah.
If you had a crate, that would work too.
Clearly he wasn't into it because he doesn't show up in the sequel at all, right?
Yeah, no,
it's straight to the asylum with you, girl. There's no...
Yeah, no, that was the hilarious thing at the beginning of part 2 is that she's taken to an insane asylum because obviously they've discovered a massacre at the end of part 1. And the cop is oh, your buddy checked out. He's fine. We sent him home.
Damn.
What? What? He didn't have to also be in the asylum? No. Whatever. Okay.
He checked out. Yeah, he checked
He's I just met her, man, so I couldn't have done any of that stuff. Anyways, I'm out of here.
Yeah. Basically, yeah. They keep repeating the pattern until Frank is mostly kind of a guy.
Yeah.
Still no skin, mostly. And then...
I think there's definitely the moment where he's I need... he either says I need a body or I need skin, and it's well, it's got to be old Larry Rory, and
yeah, he says I need one more. I need one more.
Yeah, and there's a moment where he's how could you even have fallen in love with that dud? He's oh, she's
you mean your brother?
Yeah.
Your blood relative?
No sense of adventure. He's not a noted hedonist.
Yeah, everyone hates Larry except for Kirsty,
who loves
everyone
him so much.
Yeah, unconditional.
Yeah, that's the thing about that actor. I think when he plays, Frank in the Larry skin at the end, he's having a ball. He's doing great. I think he's a little too weird of an actor to really pull off being milquetoast Larry. I think he just seems a little too off.
He's a little campy. But I don't think he can really help that. He's always a little campy.
No, yeah.
I'm all-American dad, Larry.
Yeah, I know, right?
he doesn't quite feel like all-American dad. He feels a little off, like he's about to snap himself. I forget, how do we get to the setup of Frank is getting pissed off in the attic because he's oh, I'm so close, and so he's pounding on shit, and so Larry's about to go upstairs and she tries to stop him, and then they start to make out. I do you remember the order of what happened there?
Yeah. Well, at least right in the movie, and I believe it's similar. It's right, they're gonna hook up, and then Frank appears in their closet or something, and looks like he's gonna kill him on top of her, but then he doesn't.
Yeah.
It's a
threat. She's sort of pleading with him in the movie not to do it, even though she absolutely hates her fucking husband and wishes he would die. For some reason, she's I guess not on my bed. I don't know why. She's she can't handle it. It has to be on the wedding dress. Maybe that's
on the wedding dress. I was gonna say, yeah, exactly. It's like I can, yeah. So there's and it ultimately, because in the movie, Kirsty comes and she gets the Le Marchand configuration, right? She gets the box, like she throws it out the window. Which I'm trying to. How different is that in the book?
Oh, yeah. So that's the.
She uses it to hurt him in the book.
Yes, right.
And they find her clutching it, I believe.
Right. She like runs away, and then she ends up in like a hospital asylum in the movie.
Well, yeah. Well, the whole deal is that she sees the cheating happening, and she's kind of like, "Do I follow and like get some eyeball evidence or whatever?" Yeah, let me go do that. And instead of seeing cheating, she sees. Frank feeding, and then
just slurping a dude down.
Slurping.
Says the signature line of like, Kirsty, don't run, come to daddy.
Oh, right.
And,
yes.
Come
which
to daddy.
Which in the book doesn't make as much sense as just like a friend being like, hey, you're hot, come to daddy. Here it's kind of like,
I think it works both ways. It's a pretty pervy thing to say to someone.
It's something a noted hedonist would say, for sure.
No, only the noted ones.
It's his calling card,
But yes,
all.
Come to daddy. Come to daddy. It is indeed.
Yeah.
And so she escapes, and she's found clutching it. And then, basically, and then while that's happening, it's like Frank finally convinces Julia to let him take take Rory's face.
Right.
The rest of the feed on him.
Because she, while she's in the hospital, Kirsty, sorry, I just blanked. Sorry, all these names are like whatever, but Kirsty just starts playing with the box to be like, I don't know, maybe this will do something. He was so into it, and it brings her to the Cenobites, and they're all like, cool, we're gonna eat your soul. And she's like, no, I didn't want to. And it's like, that's not how it works. We eat your soul.
Yeah.
And
unless.
Yeah. Then in both versions, she makes a deal. In the book, they're cool with the deal. And in the movie, they're just like, yeah, we said maybe.
Yeah. It was not a hard and fast agreement.
Yeah.
Yeah, but basically she's like, well, you had a guy named Frank that you totally eviscerated and killed, right? Well, he's come back to life. Don't you want that soul? And they're like, yeah, I guess we want that soul. All right, if you can trap him.
But he has to confess.
Yeah. Exactly. They got, because they don't know. They're like, oh, we don't want to get the wrong guy. Yeah. Excuse us.
They don't want, they've been known to get the wrong guy a few times. They got to be sure. They've been dinged on it too many times,
Sure. We're not going to rend the flesh of the wrong guy.
Yeah, that wouldn't be cool.
They're not crazy.
We're consensual flesh renderers.
So that's, they make the deal like, you want Frank, let's go get him. And so then she goes to the house, and in the movie, it's that actor is, he's doing a really good job as Frank as Larry. But the crazy thing, it's like, I'm still like, I don't think you're done, man. Because you still got like a little bloody patches on your head. I feel like just a little more, fill in this area, fill in here.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
She's like talking, she's talking to her dad for a long time without noticing, what's all that blood on your skull?
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was going to say, is at least in the book, it does seem like he's ready with that story. He's like, oh, sorry about the blood. Like, I just killed Frank. Yeah. So that's why there's blood in my hair. And in the movie, you're right. It kind of goes on too long that she's not like, are you okay, Dad? Your skull looks weird.
Yeah. It's like it's been pasted on to a different skull or something.
No, nothing like that, dear. I just murdered my brother.
Anyways,
and he has different colored eye contacts, right, to make it apparent that it's a different body. And somehow his fucking daughter doesn't notice his eyeballs are different, but whatever.
Well, she's been through a lot that day,
That's true. It's a traumatic day.
It's a tough day.
To learn about the Cenobites.
Very tough day.
And then, first your stepmom's cheating on your dad, then you meet the Cenobites. Your uncle comes back, he's got half a face. It's a lot happens.
He says, come to daddy. It's the whole thing.
got to really work through this for a long time in Hellraiser 2, apparently.
Yeah. So that's the thing in the movie. She goes up to look at, in quote, Frank's corpse, and the Cenobites are there, and they're like, "We want you to give us the person who did this." And she's like, "No, that was my dad. That's not the deal. I can't give you my dad." And
they're like, "What the fuck is wrong with her? Like, doesn't she know that's not her dad?" Okay, we'll wait here for you to realize, I guess.
I guess it'll be like another 90 seconds before he says, "Come to daddy" for the third time. And then you're like, "Oh, that's not my dad."
No, she's going to figure out. Surely, guys. She's going to figure out.
And then, basically, Frank, comes up. He says that. And then the Cenobites come out and they Chris Hansen him, or Chris Harrison, I should say. You thought you could get away with this?
I'd like you to take a seat right over here.
Come take a seat. Hi,
have a seat right over here.
What were you planning on doing up here in this scary attic?
Just carrying pizzas.
I just came up here.
I just came to hang out.
Is this your puzzle box? Is this your puzzle box? We got the puzzle box, right? We got it all. We know everything you've been doing.
Can a guy not hang out with his niece anymore? What's the
problem? Holy shit!
And they take him back to the other side and stuff.
Yeah. Well, yeah. In the book, it's pretty immediate, and then she's like, "I guess I'm the keeper of the box." But then in the movie, the Cenobites are like, no, we said maybe. We're still going to eat your soul after we fucking rip him to shreds. And also, like, when they rip him to shreds, there's the line, which I guess the actor improvised, but is considered like a signature line
the Jesus
of the movie,
wept.
Is Jesus wept.
Yeah. That was sick.
Well, when she's like running away from Frank, she like goes to a closet, gets headbutted by like a statue of Jesus.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
The closet full of dead bodies?
Yes! Thank you!
Like, whoa.
I don't
Julia's
know.
lazy as hell.
He's so lazy.
She's like, I'm going to take these skin suits. I'm just going to toss them in the closet. No one's going to know. Who's going to know?
Yeah. Who's going to know?
At least in the book, they're like, she puts them in a trash bag and threw them in her trunk of her car. And I was like, She throws that dead body in that closet when Larry gets home. And it's like, I gotta think someone's going to notice eventually.
No, they're de-juiced. They're dry husk, man, She's just putting in loose skin.
Clearly the insect wrangler was like, there's a better chance for me to get some of my maggots in there if there's like some corpses to be full of maggots.
Yeah.
He's like, the early scene where there's maggots in the kitchen, that isn't enough. I need some dead body mouth maggots.
You think he pulled Clive Barker aside and he's like, look, I got these maggots.
Yeah.
What?
I'm not trying to tell you how to direct your movie, but I can see at least 3 more scenes in which the maggots would play.
Look, I know maggots. It's my business. I know maggots. You know what this picture needs? This picture needs more maggots.
Yeah.
You want to be up there with Freddy? You want to be up there with Jason? You got to get more maggots. That's the key.
I also like the idea of Larry opening that closet and being like, just Julia seems off. What's all these bodies? Can't be that.
Can't be that.
Let me grab my coat. Oh, it smells like decomposing flesh in there. Anyways, I'm going to get that downstairs.
We got to paint this room.
Oof.
Yeah.
Air this out. Ay. Julia, what is going on?
I mean, yeah, even if they're sucked of all their juices, it probably smells like some papery ass skin.
There's no way it smells good, no.
Whereas in the book, it's sort of like, okay, done deal. We are Cenobites of our word. In the movie, they kind of turn on her. Thank you. And turns out she's real good at using it to like shoot lasers out of it to like fight them off, basically.
Yeah, that was weird.
She becomes like a Lamarchon configuration pro so fast.
Yeah.
And it's good.
It feels weird that the thing that brings them there, it hurts them or dispels them, I guess. Maybe that was the idea.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, is she undoing the puzzle and sealing it up, and that's what's sending them back? Like, that's what I assume
That's
the idea
kind of
is.
what it seems like. Yeah.
That makes sense. That feels right.
Yeah. It's better in the remake. They just put like an iron cage around a mansion, and they apparently can't get through the iron. They don't explain like it's magic or anything. They're just like they're literally just lurking around the house, being like, "Ah, fuck, I can't get in there." It's so incredibly dumb. So I like that better than the remake choice.
Yeah, it's better. I would say it's better.
Oh, and her boyfriend shows up too for some reason. I don't remember why. He just once everything starts going to hell, he's like on the door.
He just shows up. Yeah, you're right.
Just checking on you. The whole house seems to be collapsing. You good?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, he does. What is it? He slaps the like weird animatronic like scorpion tail Cenobite with a bottle, but like that does nothing, and then just goes back to attacking them. So like, yeah.
On second thought, maybe the fact that he does just peace out and disappear makes more sense after you've fought with a scorpion monster.
Yeah. Well,
it's a bit much for him, He doesn't feel like he needs to.
Not on the first date.
Yeah.
Relationships based on shared drama rarely work.
We learned that from Speed.
If we learn anything. Yeah, I mean, he's there. He doesn't do much. Kirsty really kind of nails it. She kind of she gets the job done. And then what they basically, the house, it's like the house is like obliterated, right? It like explodes or collapsing in on itself, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, it starts like everything starts shaking and coming down. I forgot about that part.
Very cool, good effect for sure. And then they go to like an empty lot.
Now, is that not where the house was?
That's the house. Yeah,
that's the house, right?
Yeah. I thought they like walked somewhere else.
I did not connect that either.
Yeah, I made that connection this last time I watched it. I've seen this movie a dozen times, and this last time I was like, "Oh shit, I think that's the house that they're doing that at."
Yeah.
Instead of like, hold on, can we stop by this random homeless encampment so I can dispose of this demonic box?
Okay, that makes more sense. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because I assumed they were like, just at like a vacant lot somewhere. But which I guess they are. But it used to have a house on it.
Yeah.
And then she throws down the configuration, and then old grasshopper guy, Clive himself, shows up and takes the box and like transforms and
reaches into the fire and catches fire himself.
Right,
yeah,
they're burning.
But he's not phased. He's pretty cool with it.
I just suddenly realized that Frank has like a phoenix tattoo on his back, and I'm like, oh wait, is this supposed to be like tied into that? Like that there's this kind of like demon phoenix character that like reaches into the fire and then flies away with the box. I don't know.
That feels right.
No, it's just a coincidence.
Yeah, probably a coincidence.
Do we think Ben Affleck...
Is that what inspired back? Oh, you got
Hey!
We just had scientific evidence of parallel thought. Just put it in the history books. That's wild.
When you say Phoenix back tattoo, it is the first thing that comes to mind, truly.
That's true.
It's how could you not be?
Somewhere Ben Affleck's ears just perked up.
Exactly.
So wait, I have a question for you, Tyler.
Yeah.
So this is your first time engaging with any sort of Hellraiser stuff. If you had to guess what happens in Hellraiser 2, I will say characters do come back. So it's not just like another Hellraiser adventure. What do you think happens in Hellraiser 2?
I'm trying to remember because it almost auto-played on Tubi before I broke my TV. So, So I do know she ends up in an asylum. And I think I did.
Right.
Did I look at? I was assuming does she take the fight to the Cenobites? Does she go after them?
This time it's personal.
Yeah, sort of like just when you thought it was safe to go back to the intersection of pain and pleasure. Hellraiser 2.
It's kind of like a right-on 80s sequel in that it is basically Julia becomes the new Frank.
Because
because her like remains are still in the bed that she was killed in.
Oh, we didn't even touch on that. Yeah, Frank betrays Julia and finger sucks out. Doesn't he like stick his fingers in her neck or something?
Yeah.
Sucks
he,
out
like,
all of her.
Stabs her and then starts to drink more blood.
Yeah, finger straws. The finger straws definitely come back in 2 with a vengeance. Everybody's getting finger straws to the back of the head in 2. I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
So Julia becomes new Frank. So then Kirsty's still trying to kill new Julia, old Julia.
Well, sort of, but also she has a vision of her father that it's kind of a famous image that like floats around the internet of like painting his blood on her wall saying, "I'm in hell, help me." So she has to go into Cenobite land to find her father. And then the Cenobites are like, "Are you fucking kidding me? Like, you got away from us, but like now you're in Cenobite land. We're going to rip you to shreds." And she's like, "No, I've got to find my father. No." And then
somehow also
they got to tighten up those borders, man.
Yeah, her doctor somehow miraculously is obsessed with the box and has several of them, and miraculously Kirsty ends up in his lap.
Yeah, the doctor is the one who brings back Julia, so that way,
okay, yeah, all right. Give it a go.
And there is also a little bit of Pinhead backstory, because clearly they knew he was the pop out character. I mean, they put him on the poster, but like in part 2, he literally gets a movie star entrance where they start at his feet and then pan up to his head.
Hell yeah.
But they show him as a human before he gets sucked into his own configuration.
Okay.
And becomes the Hell Priest.
Right. So he's not technically the engineer, because there's also the engineer, right? That was another one they mentioned in the
I think there is another thing, the engineer, because the doctor I think becomes that.
Yeah, there's a lot of mythology in 2. Some of it makes sense, some of it doesn't make sense. Actually, I realized listening to the bit of commentary I did that like Clive Barker was like, I was really influenced by Dario Argento, but I have too much of a story sense to get as crazy as him. And I think the thing about part 2 is another guy took over and was like, no, let's just go fucking incoherent Dario Argento with this shit. And it really is hard to follow. But it's a delight. It's a delight, I think. So, yeah.
Yeah, I was wondering if Bart, so he doesn't do any of the sequels?
No. Did he write the sequel, the second one?
I think he might have written a treatment, and maybe he's credited as like associate producer or something. But like, yeah, he didn't write the script or direct,
and certainly nothing after that.
But I think he might have a cameo again as Grasshopper Man in a complete confusing like, oh right, Grasshopper Man, what?
Yeah, I would have assumed the sequel would have sort of gotten to his whole deal a little bit. I guess maybe it doesn't. It's not important.
I mean, he wrote a sequel years later.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the Scarlet Gospels.
Oh,
yeah, they came out like maybe
which
10 years
is
ago.
terrible. It's horrible, but it combines Lord of Illusions, that character that what's his name played,
Bakula.
Scott Bakula's character, like somehow crosses paths with Pinhead and the box, and it's all, you go to hell and you see all these neighborhoods. It's not good. It's not good.
Hell has neighborhoods. Hell has suburbs.
It's just New York.
Basically, it's like the undercity of New York, where everyone's like, oh yeah, there's a secret hidden New York. Guess what, guys? It's hell. And it's in the Scarlet Gospel, and it's one of the worst things I've ever read. That I waited decades to read, and it finally came out, and it was like,
oops.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Well, cool. I think that's a perfect moment for us to start wrapping up. So I think we can mush it all together. Did we like the movie? Did we like the book? Which is better? So, Garon, let's kick off. Did you like the movie? Did you like the book? Which do you think is better?
I think I liked them both. I think I might like the movie just a smidge better, only because that is my first. That's how I learned about it. That's where it has that special little bonus, because that's I didn't read the book until years later after the after the movie. The book is probably better if we want to be honest with it, but the other one appeals to me more because I'm more attached to it.
Yeah, I genuinely feel the same way about Hellraiser 2, having just done a double feature. I'm like, I can see Hellraiser 2 as a less functional movie, but I just enjoyed it more.
Yeah.
Allan.
I also think I prefer the movie. I think it's kind of better, even though I like...
Oh, wait, you're kind of covering up your mic, man.
Even though I don't really like the change to get rid of the sexual tension, that was kind of what I liked about the book, and how weird that whole triangle was, and how fucked it, like, no one's getting out of that, like, feeling good about themselves. And they kind of, like, sanitize it for the movie, but they get weirder in other ways. I don't know. I think the movie ultimately is the one I think is the better version. Kind of tie, honestly.
Yeah. So I came to the movie first. Garon, you came to the movie first. Allan, I assume you came to the movie first as well?
Yeah, I saw the movie years ago, yeah.
Which did you do first, Tyler, as the newcomer?
I watched the movie first.
Okay.
And then read. So, yeah, it was interesting. I mean, but it was in such quick succession. I could it would have been quite a feat to develop nostalgia for the movie. The 20 minutes before I started reading the book. Yeah, I like them both. I think they're both good. I think he's a very evocative and you know, he's very good at. Let me say something incredibly obvious. He's very good at writing horror. But there's an added layer of, if you want you want to see Pinhead. At the end of the day, you want to see Butterbean or Butterball. You want to see the seedy head man,
the Chatterer.
You want to see your good friends, the Chatterer. You want to see the Cenobites. So in that way, and also the ending is pretty fun with the big, you know, she's shooting stuff at them and they're all being dicks. It's great. Like, I feel like that is
they're all being dicks.
They're going against their deal.
I don't know about these guys. Cenobites are assholes, you guys.
They're a bunch of jerks.
All except for the lady Cenobite who has a vulva in her neck, but otherwise dicks.
Yeah, and even she's not too nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know, you want to see all that stuff. I think it is genuinely, like, and all the effects and, like, the makeup and stuff is great. Like, it holds up, it's fantastic, it looks awesome. So I feel like that's kind of the money. That's where you're going to get most bang for your buck. So they're both very good. Yeah. Like, it's well written. It's a great kind of little sleazy slasher book horror thing with, like, all this crazy mythology in it, which is kind of nuts. But you want to see the movie, I feel like. I enjoyed the movie just a tiny bit more.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's the only thing that gives me pause, because, I mean, obviously the movie's won at this point, but I think the thing that's been nice about us doing these two, doing Cabal, Nightbreed, and then Hellbound Heart, Hellraiser, is that it has finally introduced me to Clive Barker's prose. And I really like, you know, it's kind of purple and florid and whatever, but, like, I really like it. I think it's really enjoyable, and especially like I said, the audiobook where he reads it, it's really fun to hear him read it. I think as a director, I appreciate that he's protecting his material. I don't think he's a very interesting director. But as you said, those fucking effects are jaw-dropping. Mm-hmm. And so I'm basically talking myself in circles because I really still don't know. I think just because the movie's won, I'll say the book. I would say the book is better. So not unanimous, but the movie is one, and I think the book is better.
Had to do it, huh? Do it, bro. We could have all been united.
That smug face, too.
Look at that. Look at that son of a
look at that.
Yeah. I'm not saying I'm better than you guys. I'm just different.
Look at it.
A little different.
I'm going to pick the book.
This was a delight as always, and as last time. Thank you so much for being here, Garon.
That's my pleasure.
Did you have anything you wanted to plug or anything?
Just you can find me on Never Not Funny. You can find me on How to Survive. It's Danielle Christine. My name is Garon everywhere. I've got a couple of books in the Amazon stores. You guys, well, maybe try to get it from your local bookstore first, and then go to Amazon.
We do still have Demonic at Skylight Books. So
I should go sign it.
Yeah, you should.
There's a huge demand.
There will be after this.
I was gonna say. There will be.
I will say it is funny because like someone bought Demonic from me. So this is actually the second copy we've had in our store, and someone bought it from me. I was like, oh, do you know Garon Cockrell's work? And he was like, no, just the copy looked good. And I was like, all right, well, enjoy. I was surprised. It like worked. Like being in a store actually sold you a book, man.
I did recently just get a 1-star review.
Damn.
That's a joke. I didn't.
As far as the Skylight Books podcast, we'll be back with a couple things in the next few weeks, but definitely Better Than the Movie will be back next month with another baseball opening day selection. It will be Tyler.
Do you hear the crack of the bat? Is that the green grass I smell? Oh, only the natural will be our next pick.
Yes. Bernard Malamud's novel, The Natural, the film with Robert Redford, directed by Barry Levinson. Okay.
Yep.
So yeah, come back for that. And
we go right from my punishment right into Allan's punishment. Making him have to.
You guys are some real impractical jokers over here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Well, see you later, folks. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Skylight Books podcast series. We hope you enjoyed it. If you'd like to check out the book featured in this episode, or others, please visit skylightbooks.com. If you're in the Los Angeles area, stop by for one of our live in-person author events. You can find a calendar on our website. If you like this podcast, leave us a review. It really helps us out. Our music is by Duck the Piano Wire. Till next time.
Okay. All right. Let's do the count in. 3, 2, 1.
Are we all doing it at the same time?
Yeah,
we're supposed to. So it's three. So it's three. So it's 3, 2, 1. Then clap. Okay. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Clap.
Okay. Great. Yeah.
I
You guys
also said clap.